A small addendum on language. So, how do we understand a language? How can we identify one? In 1960, Hockett described 13 features for counting as a language, for some behavior to count as language. Uh, One of the first ones is rapid fading. So, the uh, behavior or display has to not persist for a very long time. So, for example, honeybees doing a dance to indicate the direction of, a flower or what have you. Uh, that rapidly fades, but a bird's feathers don't. They stay on the bird for a very long time, and even if they are communicating some form of information, they're not doing rapid fading. Um, a more in-between example might be something like an ant's chemical trail. Does that count as rapid fading, or does it persist too long? Not 100% clear, but it seems like it would count closer to rapid fading. Another feature is broadcast and directional reception. So when the behavior occurs, does the transmitter intend there to be a particular audience, either a specific other individual or a broad group? That ability to intentionally choose an audience is another important feature. The next feature is interchangeability and total feedback. This means that the behavior can be used to transmit information, receive information, and even self-monitor. So when you are speaking, you can transmit information to another person. You can hear those similar language back from another person, and you can even use it to think inside your own head, to think about the words that you just said, and monitor yourself. Another feature is specialization. So the sound waves, for example, don't serve another function other than working as a language. You can imagine other creatures that are able to produce sound, say like a bat's echolocation. Well, that does serve another function other than linguistic transmission, assuming that bats do any sort of linguistic transmission at all. I don't know. Dolphin echolocation, then. They probably have something similar to language. Semanticity. So, does the behavior have meaning? This is perhaps its own rabbit hole to try and pin down exactly what meaning is, but roughly it is some fraction of a map of reality inside one person's head, transmitted and received, and roughly analogous in an put it and a roughly analogous map put into another person's head. So arbitrariness. So this feature means that the behavior does not resemble the content of the behavior. So the English word dog doesn't really resemble a dog. It's not a four-legged creature that you can play fetch with. Um, it's just an arbitrary word. We could have used a different word. Other languages do use other words, Xian, Ainu, Hund, Goyo, plenty of other words. Um, Also, just as to extend this a little bit, it's the word dog isn't necessarily a sound that the dog makes. We're not playing by Pokemon rules here. Discreteness is the next feature. So it's possible to distinguish one part of the behavior from another so that you can isolate the semantic meanings. Displacement. You're able to discuss phenomenon that are remote in both space and time. So going back to the bee dance example, the dance is able to indicate flowers that are far away from the hive. So that is the ability to transmit the concept of displacement. Um, Productivity. This means that you can, using this behavior, describe concepts or ideas or events that have never been discussed before, and yet understanding still occurs. Um, it's not clear that bee dances can do that, as an example. It seems like they are tailor-made behavior for um, location and quantity and viability, distance of food sources. It's not clear that they could actually discuss something new other than food sources. But specific distances and features of the food sources might never have been discussed before and could still be understood. So that might still count as productivity. Traditional transmission, this means that the ability to learn the language and behavior is not genetically hardwired. It is transmitted, inherited by tradition, by culture, which is clearly the case in humans. And then the behavior or language is composed of meaningful elements. So in human language, these are morphemes, which are distinguishable sounds, the A, E, I, O, U sounds, and ka, ta, ba, those sorts of things. All right. So do all languages have shared functions? Well, there's been attempts to try and answer this at a high level. So Douglas Hofstadter thinks that analogy is the core of cognition. So analogy would have to be present in all languages. Jeff Hawkins thinks that prediction is the core of intelligence, and so we would imagine that languages would have the ability to represent prediction. You see the claim sometimes in evolutionary psychology that language developed out of an arms race of modeling other people. And so we're thinking about what that person's thinking about, what a third person's thinking about. We're very concerned what other people are thinking about, what we are thinking about, what other people are thinking about, that sort of thing. And in this environment, the ability to deceive was very powerful. This is sometimes called lying is the killer app of evolutionary psychology. Um, these are hypotheses. There seems to be at least some merit to all of them, but I don't think they have been fully established. The preeminent idea for quite a while was Chomsky's idea of universal grammar, where there would just be some core set of features which would we could describe, and they would be central and necessary in all languages. For example, he suspected that all languages have recursion, the ability for a language to reference itself. Well, essentially, universal grammar isn't really one thing. It's based on the observation that children get very little linguistic input relative to what they acquire. Full grammar is essentially infinite, and children don't have nearly that much experience. So Chomsky theorized that there must be some architecture in the human brain that supports acquisition, because acquisition from a tabula rasa seems impossible. The problem is that no one can agree on what elements make up that architecture. Recursion was suspected to be one, but Piraha exists, and it pretty sure doesn't have recursion. Basically, language has units, and there are there are patterns in those units that we learn to generalize really easily. And okay, so what might be some of those units? So some possibilities we've already noted, analogy, prediction, deception, but possibly chronology, temporality, and sequence, or space, distance, and direction, the ability to distinguish between animate, inanimate, and being an agent, uh, the ability to denote causation, reference, comparison, and distinctions, and abstraction and classification. Though, like recursion, it's entirely possible that there may be exceptions to these as well. Okay.